Hi all, in this video we're going to be talking about kurtosis. So first, why is kurtosis important? The purpose of this channel is to help the audience learn all about hedge funds. This video will teach you how to calculate kurtosis, which will help you determine if your data is normally distributed. This is for educational purposes only and is not investment advice. By the end of this video, you will have a basic understanding of kurtosis, which will help you better understand the four assumptions of the OLS regressions that are run in the finance literature, and then hopefully after more videos and more work run on your own finance research and how to calculate the kurtosis of your own data. Watch the video until the end to make sure you have a rock solid understanding of kurtosis so you know it later for your academic and professional career. And two, there will be a short quiz at the end. Please feel free to place comments with any questions or any topics you would like to see covered, and don't forget to smash the like button. So, what is kurtosis? Kurtosis is what we call the fourth central moment of a distribution. And visually, you can think about it as how fat are the tails. And the tails you can see are over here, right? And so the question is how much weight of the distribution is in the tails, right? And you can see with PDF2, it's relatively centered on the mean, it's relatively symmetric, and there's not that much weight in the tails, right? But by comparison with PDF1, you can see actually there's a fair amount of distribution in the tails, right? Um, and so given that, we would say PDF1 likely has a higher kurtosis. And um, in this case, the first central moment of the distribution, which is also the mean, in this case is 5. So you can see here it's centered around the mean, which is 5. The second central moment is the variance, which in this case is 1.5. Right? So the variance of the distribution is about 1.5. The third central moment is the skewness. And you'll recall from the skewness video that the skewness is the extent to which the distribution is centered around the mean and symmetric around the mean. In this case, both PDF1 and PDF2 look like they have uh, pretty low skewness, right? Because they're both pretty well centered around the mean. Um, the fourth central moment can be described as, again, kurtosis, how much weight is in the tails, and then the way that it's calculated is, x minus 5 to the fourth, or x minus the mean to the fourth. So x1 minus the mean to the fourth, x2 minus the mean to the fourth, xn minus the mean to the fourth, right? And you sum all those and divide by n. And why do you do that? Well, because the further away you get from the mean, that is, the further away you get from 5, sort of the higher this number is going to be, right? And so the more weight is in the tails, the more of the distributions in the tails, the higher the kurtosis will be. And then notably, kurtosis is scaled by um, the standard deviation to the fourth, or the variance squared, right? Standard deviation is just the square root of the variance. And so that's what kurtosis is. How much, it's really asking, it's a fancy word, but the real question is how much weight is in the tails. Um, as you can see that here, PDF1 has a greater kurtosis because more weight in the tails of the distribution than PDF2, right? That's pretty clear. Okay. Do you think the distribution of stock returns have a larger or smaller kurtosis than a normal distribution? So you'll remember that, like, I think it's 95% of the normal distribution is within like 2 standard deviations of the mean, right? That's what normal, like, one standard deviation is 67%, or 67% of the distribution for a normal distribution is within one standard deviation. 95% is within 2 standard deviations, and 99% is within 3 standard deviations. So the question is, do we think that the stock market data, the stock returns, will be more or less, have sort of smaller or fatter tails than a normal distribution? And the answer is, given the major stock price crashes and stock price gains, right, you frequently see negative 10% returns, negative 20% returns in a day, even sometimes for giant companies, negative 30, 20, 25% returns. If that, it would not be typical of a normal distribution, right? We wouldn't see that as often as we do. Um, and so, given that, given the major stock price crashes and major stock price gains, larger kurtosis would be a good guess. So there's more kurtosis in stock price returns than in typically in a normal distribution. So pop quiz: if stock price returns have a higher kurtosis than a normal distribution, which of the 4 OLS assumptions might stock price return data violate? If you think about back to the 4 assumptions, be normality, right? The data is not normally distributed, likely. Um, okay, that's the end of the kurtosis video, and I hope you guys found that helpful. And again, feel free to post questions or comments in the comment section, and let me know what additional videos you want to see so that I can make them for you to help keep developing your understanding. Thanks so much.